When and how did you find out that something was wrong with you? And then let's have it straight out, what is wrong?
Well, I was standing on stage trying to sing and I couldn't, and I kept, I do my vocal exercises before I go on the show, start the show, and they used to make me get really into a good voice, and somehow it wasn't happening.
Linda Ronstadt is a legendary voice that shaped American music in the 70s and 80s, becoming one of the most influential female artists of her generation. With a career spanning multiple genres, from rock to country to Latin music, she won numerous accolades and captured the hearts of fans worldwide. Despite her public career, Linda's personal life has always been more private, especially when it comes to her family. Although she never married, she adopted 2 children and built her own unique family. Today, we're taking a closer look into Linda's life, her decision to remain single, and the joys and challenges of raising her children. Early life. Linda Ronstadt was born in Tucson, Arizona on July 15, 1946, into a family steeped in musical tradition. Her father, Gilbert Ronstadt, was of Mexican descent, and her mother, Ruth Mary Koopman, came from a mix of German, English, and Dutch ancestry. This multicultural upbringing played a significant role in shaping her musical influences. The Ronstadt household was filled with music, and Linda was exposed to a wide range of styles, from traditional Mexican songs to country and jazz. These early experiences helped fuel her passion for music and set her on a path that eventually made her one of the most versatile performers in American music. In the 1960s, she moved to LA to pursue musical ambitions. Her first big break came when she joined the folk rock group The Stone Poneys. Their 1967 hit, Different Drum, written by Michael Nesmith of the Monkees, showcased Linda's distinct voice and marked her as a talent to watch. As she began her solo career, she quickly became known for her genre-defying approach. By the early 70s, she had established herself as a leading figure in the rock scene, with hits like You're No Good and When Will I Be Loved climbing the charts. Her musical versatility was a defining trait. While most artists stayed within a single genre, she effortlessly moved between rock, country, and even traditional Mexican music. Quote, "I don't like to be pinned down. I've always loved so many different kinds of music, and I never saw the point in limiting myself," she said in a 1980 interview. Career achievements. Linda Ronstadt's career is a testament to her incredible talent and adaptability, allowing her to stand out in an industry dominated by male artists. She broke barriers, becoming one of the most successful female rock stars of her time. Throughout the 70s and 80s, she consistently topped the charts with a blend of rock, country, and pop hits. Her albums, including Heart Like a Wheel, Simple Dreams, and Living in the USA, achieved both critical and commercial success. These albums not only produced chart-topping singles, but also established her as an artist unafraid to experiment with different sounds and genres. She won 10 Grammy Awards over the course of her career, along with numerous other honors, including a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Her talent extended far beyond just one genre, making her one of the few artists who could sell out arenas for both rock and country concerts. A notable moment in her career was her collaboration with Emmylou Harris and Dolly Parton, which resulted in the critically acclaimed Trio album in 1987. The project showcased Ronstadt's harmony skills and cemented her role as one of the most versatile voices of her generation. She also made a profound cultural statement with Canciones de Mi Padre, an album that celebrated her Mexican heritage. It remains the best-selling non-English language album in U.S. history. Her ability to embrace her roots while achieving mainstream success set her apart from many of her contemporaries. Her personal life.
You never thought about getting married?
Well, maybe when I was 3 and wanted a wedding dress, I don't know,
Well, why do you suppose that is?
I think my mother might have had something to do with that, Not that I don't think my mother had an unhappy marriage. I think she had a very happy marriage. But my mom wanted to be a scientist, and World War II came along right at the point where she was starting with a kind of a low-level science job that she would have been able to work up in. And she had 3 kids to raise, 4 kids eventually. And I think that it was always a little bit of a disappointment. She used to go back to school from time to time and sort of get more, learn more stuff. But I think she always sort of said to me, go out and have a life. You don't just have to get married. There are alternatives to it.
While Linda Ronstadt's career was highly publicized, she chose to keep much of her personal life out of the spotlight. By the early 90s, Ronstadt made a life-changing decision to adopt 2 children, Mary Clementine and Carlos, and her focus shifted from her career to her role as a mother. She adopted Mary in 1990, followed by Carlos in 94. Her decision to adopt was both a personal and a practical one, allowing her to raise children on her own terms while continuing her career. As a single mother, Ronstadt balanced motherhood with the demands of her career, a challenge she took on with determination. In interviews, she's spoken fondly about raising her children, noting how they became her greatest priority. Quote, "My kids are the most important thing in my life. I love them more than anything I've ever done in music," she shared in a candid interview. Despite the spotlight on her, Ronstadt successfully kept her family life private, rarely discussing her children publicly, preferring to let them grow up away from the pressures of fame. Today, both of Ronstadt's children are grown, and she remains close to them. Her role as a mother has been central to her life, especially as her health challenges have taken center stage in recent years. Relationships and why she never married.
You didn't ever think of yourself as the marrying kind. Why not?
Not cut out for marriage.
Why?
I think there's such a thing as adult onset narcissism. I think a lot of us were guilty of that.
Linda Ronstadt's personal life was often the subject of public curiosity, particularly her romantic relationships. Over the years, she was involved in a number of high-profile romances, but she ultimately chose not to marry. One of her most well-known relationships was with California Governor Jerry Brown during the 1970s. Their relationship made headlines, as it was rare to see a rock star dating a politician. Despite the public's fascination, Ronstadt and Brown managed to keep the details of their relationship relatively private. In later years, Ronstadt referred to their time together as a meaningful chapter in her life, but one that never led to marriage. In the 80s, she dated film director George Lucas. Their relationship drew significant attention due to their contrasting careers. Despite their bond, the relationship didn't end in marriage. She's often spoken candidly about her thoughts on marriage, stating in a 2019 interview, "I never saw marriage as something I needed. It just wasn't important to me. I didn't think that was where happiness was going to come from." Linda's decision to remain unmarried has always been tied to her fierce independence. She was focused on her career and later on raising her children as a single mother. While her relationships were significant, she chose to not define her life by them. Ronstadt acknowledged that balancing a high-profile career with a committed relationship was a challenge, and ultimately, she valued her personal freedom more than the conventions of marriage. Health challenges and retirement.
But today, even holding a spoon can be a challenge. Linda has a neurological condition called progressive supranuclear palsy, similar to Parkinson's disease. It impacts her movements, cognition, and her ability to sing.
In 2013, Linda Ronstadt revealed a heartbreaking development. She had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a condition that ultimately robbed her of the ability to sing. For an artist whose voice had been her most powerful instrument, the diagnosis was devastating. Parkinson's, a progressive nervous system disorder, affects the muscles in her vocal cords, making it impossible for her to continue performing. Speaking about the illness, Ronstadt shared, "I can't sing a note. It's like you're singing with a glove on your vocal cords." Her admission came as a shock to fans, as Ronstadt had quietly stepped away from the music scene in the early 2000s, without initially disclosing the full extent of her health struggles. Ronstadt's retirement marked the end of one of the most versatile and impactful careers in music history. But she faced her diagnosis with the same grace and determination that had defined her career. Although her voice had been silenced, her legacy continued to grow. In interviews following her diagnosis, she reflected on her life with a sense of acceptance, stating, quote, "I had a long turn at the trough. I was lucky. Now I just look for joy in other things." Despite the challenges posed by her illness, Ronstadt has remained active in other areas, including advocacy work and writing. Her memoir, Simple Dreams, published in 2014, gave readers a glimpse into her remarkable life, offering reflections on both her storied career and the personal decisions that shaped her. In the book, Ronstadt opened up about the highs and lows of her journey, including the challenges of balancing fame, family, and health. Today, while her singing career has ended, Linda Ronstadt continues to inspire through her resilience, proving that her strength goes far beyond her music. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Linda's career? Let us know in the comments section below.